All right, Sensei, let's get real about the Blue Archive Endgame. We're not just going to talk about copying teams, no. We're diving deep into how to build squads that actually work. You know, the ones that get the job done time and time again.
I mean, come on, does this hit a little too close to home? We've all been there, right? You see that glorious, insane clear screenshot, you meticulously copy every single student, every piece of gear, and then you watch your team just melt in 40 seconds. It's that classic soul-crushing moment, and honestly, it's the perfect place for us to kick things off.
So, okay, let's really dig into this. If just copying a perfect team isn't the answer, then what the heck are we even supposed to be doing? What's the real endgame here? What is that secret sauce the top players seem to have figured out?
Okay, first things first, we have to tear down a huge myth. This idea of a single universal best team, it's probably the number one thing holding you back. And yeah, it's almost definitely why that team you copied completely fell apart. And here it is. This is the whole secret. The true endgame? It isn't about having one god-tier team. It's about building a deep, flexible roster. Think of it like a toolbox, not a single magic hammer. You need a collection of students you can mix and match to handle whatever the game decides to throw at you. We're talking different armor types, funky terrain, weird boss mechanics. That's the key to clearing content consistently. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. The real meat and potatoes. These are like the unwritten rules of Blue Archive Endgame, the core principles that literally decide if your team wins or gets wiped. You get these down, and I promise you, you're already halfway to victory.
And here it is, rule number 1, the absolute, without a doubt, golden rule. If you forget everything else I say today, please remember this. Armor matchups are completely non-negotiable. Your main damage dealer's attack type has to hit the enemy's weakness. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And this just shows you exactly why.
I mean, look at the difference. On the left, with the right matchup, your DPS is a walking nuke. You're putting up huge numbers. On the right, with the wrong matchup, you're hitting them with a wet noodle. It's pathetic. This is, 9 times out of 10, the reason you're staring at the screen wondering, why is my supposedly OP character doing 0 damage? Let me be clear, no amount of buffs can fix a bad matchup.
Okay, rule number 2, and this is one that so many people sleep on. Terrain. Seriously. A student's mood on the battlefield, you know, whether they like urban, outdoor, or indoor settings, is a massive damage multiplier. I'm talking a top-tier, meta-defining character can get totally out-damaged by a less popular student if they're fighting on the wrong turf. It changes everything. And finally, rule number 3. Think of building a team like running down a checklist. Every great team has all its bases covered. You've got your main carry, the star of the show. You need a sub-DPS or a breaker. You absolutely need a tank to hold the front line, a healer or shielder to keep everyone alive, and then the secret ingredients, a buffer to make your team stronger and a debuffer to make the enemy weaker. You tick all those boxes, you've got a solid team. Okay, so theory is one thing, right? But let's get down to brass tacks. How do we actually use all this? I'm going to give you a simple, repeatable blueprint, a 5-step framework you can use for pretty much any fight in the entire game. Here it is, super simple, super effective. Step 1, look at the fight. What armor, what terrain are you up against? Step 2, pick your main DPS. This is your star player, so make sure they match those requirements from step 1. Step 3, build the damage window. This is where you bring in your buffers and debuffers to make your carry hit like a truck. Step 4, lock in your defense. Grab your tank, grab your healer, and finally, step 5, that last utility slot. Fill it with whatever weird tool you need to solve this specific puzzle. All right, let's put this blueprint into practice. Let's see what this actually looks like in the wild. We're going to break down 2 of the most common and most powerful team types or archetypes that you'll be building for all that tough endgame content. First up, we have the classic, the Boss Melter. This team has one job and one job only. Find the biggest, baddest enemy on the field and absolutely delete their health bar. And check this out. It follows our 5-step blueprint to a T. The goal? Maximum burst damage on one target. So your carry is going to be a single target specialist who matches the boss's armor and the terrain. Then, for your supports, you're grabbing a huge buffer and a defense shredder. Why? To create that insane damage window. You plug in your tank and healer for sustain, and that last flex slot, that could be someone to help with skill cost or maybe even more defense shred. It's all about focus. And here's what that looks like in the game. See that?
You've got your one big carry right in the center, and then everyone else on the team, their entire existence is dedicated to making that one student hit as hard as physically possible. Every single unit has a role, all pointing toward that one single goal, melting the boss.
But, not every fight is a single big boss. Sometimes you're facing mobs, waves of enemies and challenge missions, or story stages. For that, you need a totally different tool from your toolbox. You need the AoE Wave Clearer. And what's so cool is that our blueprint just adapts. The goal changes from kill the boss to clear waves fast, so your carry isn't a single target unit anymore. It's one or maybe even two AoE damage dealers. You still have a buffer to pump them up, but your sustain becomes even more critical because you're taking hits from everywhere. And that flex slot? Oh, that often becomes a character who can group enemies up into a nice little ball, perfect for your AoE to just wipe them out. And again, you can just see it right here. Instead of a laser focus on one guy, this team is all about crowd control and spreading the damage around. It's built to survive and manage big groups of enemies so your squishy characters in the back don't get swarmed.
Okay, so knowing how to build a team is half the battle. But the other half, and maybe the more important half, is how you spend your precious resources. This is what separates a good roster from a great one. So let's talk investment strategy.
Listen up, because this might be the single most important piece of long-term advice I can give you. Depth over breadth, always. Stop spreading your resources thin across a dozen different students. It doesn't work. Pick one strong team, one powerful carry, and their key supports, and pour everything into them. Makes them overwhelmingly strong. A roster of half-built students is a roster that can't clear tough content, period.
And to help you stay on track, just use this simple mental checklist every time you're about to upgrade someone. Ask yourself, 1, does this make my main DPS hit harder during their burst? 2, does this stop my team from dying in a way they keep dying? And 3, does this speed up my skill rotation? If the answer to all 3 of those is no, then it's a distraction. Don't waste your materials.
I'm just gonna let this one sink in for a second because it says it all. This quote right here, this is the entire philosophy. A single, maxed out carry with the right support system will always be better than a whole squad of half-built characters. So, let's wrap up with this thought. You've got the rules now, you have the blueprints, and you know how to invest. So the next time you hit a wall, the next time a boss feels impossible, I want you to ask yourself, is the problem really that I'm missing some shiny new character, or is it just that I'm using the wrong strategy? Think about it. The answer might just change how you play the game.